Every night, Ada counted the ticks of the old wall clock, the only sound that didn't hurt her.
Look what you did! You always do this! I told you not to cross me again!
Please, Kunle, stop it! She packed her luggages and walked out with tears. For the first time, she wasn't afraid of midnight.
Ada was known for her quiet smile, the kind that hid pain behind politeness. In her neighborhood, people called her Madam Patience, because no one ever saw her angry. But behind the high walls of her home, patience was just another word for survival. Her husband, Kunle, was a successful contractor, charming in public, cruel in private. He'd return home smelling of alcohol and guilt, each night finding something new to break. A plate, a frame, or her spirit. She had no family nearby, no phone of her own, and the neighbors had learned not to interfere. So she found comfort in the only thing that still kept time for her, that old wall clock. Every night, she'd count its ticks like a lullaby. Tick, tick, tick. By morning, he was calling her friends, her church, her old office, threatening, pleading, cursing. He filed a false police report, claiming she stole his money and ran. And in a city where power speaks louder than truth, the police started looking for her. Ada moved from lodge to lodge, always leaving before dawn. She found a cleaning job at a bakery, working quietly, keeping her name hidden. But one afternoon, while mopping the floor, she heard a familiar voice outside. Kunle. He was talking to the bakery manager, pretending to be her husband, saying she had a mental problem. Ada hid in the storeroom, holding her breath as her tears hit the floor. That night, she left again. Only this time, she left a note at the bakery that said, "If anyone asks, tell them time started moving again." Weeks later, Kunle received a small package at home. No return address. Inside was the old wall clock. Repaired, polished, ticking again. And beneath it, a folded letter in Ada's handwriting. "You broke everything that told me time could heal. But I found the courage to start counting again. The hands you used to hurt me can't touch me anymore." The camera pans to Kunle's face, a man now haunted, sitting in silence, as the clock ticks louder and louder. And somewhere far away, in a small apartment filled with sunlight, Ada hangs a new clock on her wall. It reads 12, a new beginning. When time breaks, you can fix it, or you can leave it behind. Ada's escape wasn't easy. She'd left everything. Her home, her clothes, her name. But what she didn't know was that freedom has a way of attracting angels in disguise. At the women's shelter, she met Mama Esther, a retired nurse who had once walked the same path. Mama Esther saw the bruises, the silence, and the shaking hands, and she knew. She didn't ask what happened. She just said, "You're safe now. Let's start with breakfast." Over the weeks, Ada began to heal. Not just her skin, but her mind. She joined therapy sessions, learned tailoring, and started talking again. Her smile, the real one, began to return. She also began volunteering at the shelter, helping other women escape the same storms she survived. And every morning, she'd set the wall clock by her bed to 12 Gaiseit, whispering, "Every day is a new start." Kunle's world began to crumble. Slowly, quietly, like everything he'd once taken for granted. He couldn't sleep. The house echoed with his own voice, shouting, cursing, accusing. The clock Ada sent him ticked louder every night, mocking his silence. He tried to replace her with noise, with drink, with other women, but none stayed. Because you can't fill emptiness with echoes. One morning, he went to the police station to withdraw his false report. The officer looked up and said, "Sir, we already know. She's safe. You should be grateful she's alive." That night, he sat in front of the ticking clock, whispering her name. For the first time in years, his hands trembled, not with anger, but with regret. He finally understood that the hands which hurt someone else eventually turn back to hurt you. Months later, he showed up quietly at the women's shelter. Not to beg, not to argue. He dropped an envelope at the door. Inside, a signed divorce paper and a short note. "You were right, Ada. When time breaks, you leave it behind. I broke mine." Years later, Ada opened a small tailoring shop named 1159 Designs. When people asked why the name, she smiled and said, "Because sometimes life starts 1 minute before it ends." The camera pans to a wall clock in her shop, ticking peacefully at 12 toward noon. Surrounded by laughter, sewing machines, and sunlight,